Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for May 24th. We are looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair closed up for Friday's session, is moving sideways and definitely has a bias to the downside. We are currently looking for this pair to move potentially as high as 95.62, possibly as low as 93.05. Look for some resistance around 95.11 and look for some support around 93.95 in this particular pair. Now switching to the Euro USD pair, this particular pair continues to move higher, did gap up on the open. If you notice, it has moved higher but has not broken our previous area of resistance that we saw on Friday's session. Now we are looking for this pair though to move potentially as high as 141.54, possibly as low as 137.85. Look for some resistance around 140.50 and look for some support around 138.86 in this particular pair. Now switching over to the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair has moved higher as well, closed up on Friday, biases to the upside, moving to the upside. We are looking for this pair to potentially move as high as 160.76, possibly as low as 156.19. Look for some resistance around 159.50 and look for some support around 157.50 in this particular pair. Now let's switch over to the US Swiss. This particular pair closed down on Friday, is continuing to move lower. We are expecting this pair to move potentially as high as 110.25, possibly as low as 107.29. Look for some resistance around 109.13 and look for some support around 10800. This pair is moving lower, biased definitely to the downside. Now we have the Eurozone has their German IFO expectations for May being released at 4 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. This particular news announcements, the consensus on it is that things have increased from 83.9 to 85.4. Don't anticipate this moving the market, but if you're awake at that time, it's a good thing to note. Now, the New Zealand dollar has their Reserve Bank of New Zealand inflation expectations for the second quarter being released at 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. No consensus currently. The previous was 2.3%. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, the U.S. Swiss, I believe, has moved pretty high, pretty quick. I'm anticipating a pullback sometime soon. If you pull the chart out, you can see that we have hit an area of previous resistance, and I anticipate us basically hitting that resistance and staying there to some degree, or having a small pullback. If you notice, we have this area of consolidation. I believe we'll have a small pullback in an area of consolidation before moving higher, if indeed it does do that. Now let's zoom in a little bit and I'll show you what I'm looking for during this next session. Don't know if it'll happen, we'll just have to wait and see. The market gapped up about 17 pips or so. Typically it did move higher, did not break this area, basically Friday's resistance. The high there is starting to move down. The odds are that it's going to pull back and fill the gap back down to Friday's closing price. Now what I'm looking to do is, if it goes say a pip or two beyond that point, look for it to move even lower and take out this particular resistance level that would now be support of the high here. You may want to go one pip below for an entry and 1 pip above this particular high for an exit. You can use this high as your stop loss. And what that kind of looks like on here, let me pull this up. You know, from our open, I'm sorry, from our high to our close here on Friday was around 40, right around 50 pips, and on the other side, moving to from our close back to the previous high, we're looking at about 80 pips, roughly 79 pips. So you can see that we're definitely risking less to get more. So our risk to reward ratio should be fairly good. I just anticipate this pullback, and I'm looking for it to happen. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.